You can even do it with flipping tiddlywinks if you want, or that game where you get a hat and you try and throw cards into it. You try and throw the whole deck. So by the time this whole pandemic is over, you are able to throw 52 cards into a hat at a whim. A lot of people are struggling with their motivation and energy right now. And it's kind of crazy because it's a worldwide thing. Like, I'm in the UK, but you could be in the USA, you could be in Canada, you could be in France, Italy. For some reason, Sweden has managed to get away with doing it. But hey, fair play to Sweden. You're absolutely smashing it. But we're all going through the same stuff. So over on my Twitter account at Simon316 and in my YouTube comments, people keep saying, Simon, how do you stay motivated? I feel like this and I feel like that. And, the walls are closing on me. I thought we'd just talk about it today. We should have a big old rant. We haven't done this in a while. And hopefully we can get something out of it. And make sure you get involved in the comments below. And then we can turn it into a conversation. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But we are living in unprecedented times. So you don't need me to tell you that. That's something that you know. And every time you turn on the news, you're probably going to have some other bald guy shouting at you, but they'll look more smart than me. And the kind of way that I've seen it is kind of twofold. You don't have to be motivated right now. I know it sounds kind of strange. Like, Simon, I've tuned in to learn about motivation, and we'll talk about that in a second. But really, I'm a motivated and I'm a goal-driven person. I really, really am. And don't get me wrong, I'm not having good days all the time. I'm getting in my own head and I can't train properly. And, I can't go and wrestle, which is something else I do. And really, we're just stuck in this bubble and we're all peering out the window every now and then to kind of see what everybody else is doing. But therein lies the point, right? It is a global thing. Everybody is suffering in the same way. And you get two types of people, if we're being really simplistic with it. You get the people that aren't motivated, and of course you get the people that are motivated. So if you are a motivated person that is now losing said motivation, I'm going to assume that usually you get that motivation because you want to be successful, you want to achieve, you've got all these goals, all these targets, and you want to make sure that you reach them so that you can cross them off your list and go after some other ones. But that usually comes in turn with knowing that if you don't do that, the world is passing you by, right? That's a phrase that you hear all the time. And that if you're not putting in the hard work, somebody else will be working harder with you, and somebody else may have more talent than you, so you better be at least putting in the effort so you can sell on par, and then you kind of leave it in the lap of the lap of life and you wait to see what happens. But that's not going on right now. I can only talk from my point of view, so I'll do that. But if I don't chase a wrestling booking or I don't chase a certain opportunity, I know for a fact nobody else is either, because you're not allowed. And if you are doing it, actually people are going to turn around and go, that guy is a dick. He's ignoring all the rules, and then they're going to stop ignoring all the rules, and the whole thing is going to fall down, and we're going to be extinct before you know it. That's a joke. That's a joke. Don't get scared. But it really is true, Dan. The more I think about it, this may be a good time to sit back and just let life play out, because there's nothing else you can really do. And when I have started to accept that over the last couple of days, I've kind of realized I may even be more relaxed than I am in my usual day-to-day life. Again, I don't have to, not that I stress in a bad way, but there's, anxiety and worry and apprehension are just things that tie in to normal life when you do have it. But we don't have that anymore, so I don't have to worry about what time I need to set off for a wrestling show or what time I need to go to the gym. I'm working out from my house. If I want to train at 11:02 at night, I'll just do it using the dumbbells and whatever else I've got scattered around my living room. Now, there are obviously other stresses. I'm not talking about people that have lost their jobs, that are in financial situations, or the damn heroes that are going out every day and risking their own lives. And my word, do I have all the respect for you in the world. I am talking about your average Joe like me, and I assume the person watching this that is lucky to be in a decent position where we can get on as best as possible. And so we start, looking at other things. Because that's the other thing we need to remember as well. We're kind of blessed that we're even in a house that has water and that we can go out and get food and that we have entertainment like Switch and Xbox and PlayStation and TV and Netflix and Disney Plus. Right now, there are people out there, don't forget this, there are people out there right now that are stuck in situations that don't have that are probably terrified about where they're going to get their next meal from. There's even more sort of specific situations like that. I don't want to get too down on this road because what the hell do I know about it? But it is a conversation that's come up recently. What if you're in some kind of domestic or abusive relationship and you're now being told by the government, hey, you're not allowed to leave your house? That's absolutely terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. How on earth do you go and get help when you are presented with things like this? So if motivation is the only thing that we lose, here's what's going to happen. In around about 6 months' time, when we all emerge from our cocoons, basically we're all going to be fat and out of shape, potentially, should you want to go down that road. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But even if it does, anyone that comes up to anybody else after this and goes, you've lost mass, or you look fat now, or you look terrible, you're allowed to punch that person in the face. This is a rule that I'm going to decree now. There you go. It's been decreed, because that just shows a total lack of, self-awareness, to say the least. They're ignorant and stupid, because there's every chance it may happen. And while you shouldn't overeat, I'm not advocating that whatsoever. If having an extra bag of crisps in a week is going to put a smile on your face, I think right now it's the time to have a bag of crisps. Now let's look at the flip side to this. Let's look about staying motivated. It's all about just refocusing your goals and refocusing actually what is in your control. So anything that's out of your control, forget about that. It's out of your control. That's just wasted time. I'm not saying it's as easy as flicking a light switch, but I'm saying ultimately that's the stage we need to get to. But let's say you are training in your house and you only have a few things. Even if your goal is to maintain, right? And it's going to be really difficult to do that. But let's say you weigh 14 stone. I'm just guessing. I don't know what that is in pounds. But let's ask Google. Hey, Google, what's 14 stone in pounds? 196 pounds. Is that right? That doesn't sound right. Maybe it's right. So 196 pounds. Just make it your goal to stick to 196 pounds. It's not the most interesting goal in the world. It's not the most exciting goal in the world, but at least it just gives you a number to look at and you can check that every single day. Try not to get too obsessed with it, but if it drops down to 194 pounds, well, no, not 2 pounds, 190 pounds, but it goes up to 200 pounds, try and figure out what you did in the last 24 hours. Like if it goes up to 200 pounds and you know you ate a load of junk, you can go, okay, it's water weight, it's bloat, it will go in the next few days. And maybe if it goes down to 190 pounds, maybe a bit lower, but maybe just look at your diet and make incremental changes or thought how you trained the previous day. Do stuff that I talk about in all my videos, like the plank challenge. So today is Tuesday as I'm recording this. Do a plank for 1 minute today, 60 seconds. It's not hard. It really, really isn't. You may be shaking towards the end of it, but you'll be able to get through it. Tomorrow, 1 minute 10. Thursday, 1 minute 20. Thursday, so on and so forth. Try and build it up to 10 minutes. It's a great way to stay motivated. Like it doesn't mean anything. Who cares how long you can plank for? But when other things have been taken away, it's a cool thing to do. Do the 100 press up challenge. Do 100 press ups a day. Although I would, again, push behind doing 101, then 102, 103. Do all these little things that you're able to do in your house so you just have a little bit of a goal. But also make sure you keep your diet up. The reason I love bodybuilding so much is that no matter what I have on any given day, I can wake up and now I've got these 6 meals that I want to get in and I want to get all this food. I eat the same thing most of the time. I'll change it up here and there. But it's such a lovely thing to have because, again, let's say I had nothing to do, and I never have nothing to do because it scares the crap out of me. But even if I had nothing to do, I know, well, I've got to get an X amount of calories, an X amount of protein and macros and all of this. That is something for me to achieve today. And I know the reason I want to do that is it's going to fuel my muscles and I can try and be a big jack guy because clearly I have no self-worth. It's a joke, but it's kind of true. A little bit of truth in there. You can even do it with flipping tiddlywinks if you want, or that game where you get a hat and you try and throw cards into it. You try and throw the whole deck. So by the time this whole pandemic is over, you are able to throw 52 cards into a hat at a whim. So when you're next to a party, that can be your party trick. And everyone's like, man, Terry's so cool. Terry can do the card trick. And you're like, I did it on lockdown. They'll be like, why didn't you learn Spanish? You'll be like, shit, I should have learned Spanish. But there's another one. Learn Spanish. Try and find all these just crazy extracurricular activities that is going to make you happy and make you positive. And as long as you make sure that's all topped up and you're feeling good, who even gives a crap, right? Who even gives a crap? You feel good, you've won life. Was a John Lennon quote? Wasted time isn't wasted if you enjoyed it. He said it more elegantly like that. But hey ho. So yeah, play PlayStation. Catch up on Breath of the Wild. Play Fight Night Champion, which I've started playing. I have no idea why. Play Doom, that just came out. Animal Crossing, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake's going to be released earlier. Get to know your partner a bit better. Read a book. You know, aim to read 20 books before this whole thing is done. You just have to realize what's actually capable within your own hands and set yourself the same kind of goals even if you're out in the big world. And it's not going to be the same, but just think how wonderful it will be when we are able to roam free like cattle once more instead of being locked away like chickens. And never forget that's the difference between cattle and chickens. Again, not true at all. But that's the way I'm dealing with it for everybody that's asked me. I'm lucky I have a few weights, so my goal is to try and maintain as much muscle mass as possible. But I've relaxed my diet, probably too much to be honest. But also I'm just trying to accept that this is the situation. It's so much easier, I think, when the whole world, it's not good, of course not, but when the whole world is feeling the same thing, you kind of are able to put your feet up. And maybe that's a small, tiny little bit of a silver lining that we can extract from it, is that if you do just want to chill out as best as you can, depending on your other life situations. I want to make this clear. This is for the person that's going stir crazy in their house because they are comfortable. If you're not comfortable, you're going to be worrying. That's a different video for a different day. But maybe that's all right for now. Maybe this is just the time to do that And when we bust back out of here in August or September or October, we can run amok again and hopefully forget that this thing ever happened to begin with. So there you go. Thank you to everyone that does get in touch with me and ask me to do specific videos. I appreciate it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It's right there. Like the video. Those are the two things I need to make sure my videos grow, because the YouTube algorithm loves engagement. I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Simon316, because on that note, my YouTube videos make no money, so I've got to finance them somehow, but I get that it's a financial hardship for many people, so please do not do it if you are suffering at the moment. But ultimately, stay safe, stay healthy, stay indoors. I know you're sick and tired of hearing it, but it is important. And if you've got any other topics like this you want me to chat about because you're interested in what a bald asshole has to say, I'm more than happy to do it, because again, I got time on my hands. There's something else I'm doing. I'm dedicating more time to my YouTube channel, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. Why did that video do well? Why did that video die on its ass and make me sad for the next 24 hours? All these things that I'm trying to learn. So hopefully, again, when we are out the other side, I can go, hey, I'm more educated than I was beforehand. Don't worry about Amazon either. Everyone's getting crazy about Amazon delivery. They're saying it's going to be late April till they get it to you, but I'm seeing a load of stories. It's not true at all. Sometimes it still comes within 24 hours. So go read a book. Go get a self-help book. Read about the stock market. So when they go back up, maybe you can invest, or maybe you can invest now low, knowing that in a year's time you're going to make a bunch load of cash. There's so many little things we can do. We just have to adjust our mindsets. But of course, that's going to be hard, because look at the television. Maybe don't turn the TV on or the radio. We are living in scary, scary times, and they are. But there's nothing wrong with being scared. There's a reason we have that emotion. Try and use it as best as you can. I'm done. I'll see you soon.